Clint Eastwood and Robert Redford are two of Hollywood's most enduring icons, each with a storied career that spans decades, accolades, and beloved films. Yet when one places Eastwood and Redford side by side, what emerges is less a rivalry grounded in animosity than a tension born of difference, in aesthetic, philosophy, and the very way each perceives his craft. Understanding that tension helps us appreciate what makes each unique. At the root of the conflict is style. Eastwood embodies rugged minimalism. His characters are often men of few words, hardened by experience, moral ambiguity visible in their decisions. Even when directing, Eastwood tends towards sparse dialogue, clear, strong visuals, and stoic resolve in his protagonists. His aesthetic is one of economy, and sometimes a sense that life is tested in intensity rather than in nuance. Robert Redford, by contrast, has often embraced elegance, idealism, and emotional subtlety. Many of his finest roles and directorial works explore relationships, environmentalism, social conscience, and internal conflict that plays out gently rather than through overt confrontation. His persona invokes a charm and affability, but also an artistic sensibility that listens deeply to atmosphere, character, setting. This difference in approach, gritty versus lyrical, terse versus expressive, can create tension in how each is perceived by critics and the public. Where Eastwood is praised for authentic grit, Redford is praised for refined empathy. Eastwood can be accused of emotional restraint that borders on coldness. Redford sometimes criticized for being too polished, perhaps even sentimental. These are not mutually exclusive strengths or weaknesses, but they set up a kind of implicit contrast. Another point of conflict lies in thematic priorities. Eastwood's work often wrestles with justice, wrongdoing, moral compromise, the individual against adversity. His characters are drawn into violence or into moral dilemmas where laws and ethics are not always aligned. Redford, meanwhile, while capable of conflict, often magnifies redemption, idealism, or human connection. His films may address corruption or loss, but also frequently look for hope, reconciliation, the beauty in human imperfection. Career choices also demonstrate divergent paths. Eastwood has played tough outsiders, anti-heroes, or men willing to hold unpopular truths. He has also directed westerns, hard-edged dramas, action films, movies that accept darkness as part of the human landscape. Redford, although having done his share of tense dramas, has balanced that with romance, lighter moments, socially conscious roles, natural settings, even activism off-screen. These differences generate tension in the metaphorical sense. Fans of Eastwood may see Redford's films as too soft, while aficionados of Redford may find Eastwood's characters too unforgiving. At times, the expectation of what good acting or meaningful cinema should be clashes. Does the emotional arc matter more, or does the uncompromising resolve? Is the hero one who stands alone and fights, or one who reveals vulnerability and connection? Finally, their public personae contribute to the contrast. Eastwood tends to present himself as a self-sufficient figure, one who lets the work speak, who is less interested in celebrity and more in purpose. Redford, while also serious about art, has embraced a different model, founding the Sundance Film Festival, supporting environmental causes, more visibly engaging with cultural dialogues. That difference in visibility and activism sometimes leads to contrasting judgments in public discussion. Eastwood as the rugged, reserved auteur, Redford as the cultured, civically engaged figure. In sum, the conflict or tension between Clint Eastwood and Robert Redford is not one of personal enmity, but of artistic divergence, in style, themes, persona, and values. Each has chosen a path that reflects different priorities: Eastwood toward grit, moral hardness, visual austerity; Redford toward warmth, idealism, emotional resonance. The tension between them is what makes their comparison fascinating. It reveals the many ways cinema can explore what it means to be human, to confront moral complexity, to navigate solitude versus connection, strength versus vulnerability.